Hey, so Hiko Simon here, back with Sachiko from Land Housing in Etiquette. And this time, we touched on this before about the problems that foreigners have, and foreigners have a bad reputation for breaking some of the manners and rules about renting in Japan. But I'll let you just go through those so that you understand what the expectations are and really what you can't do that you might expect to be able to do in other countries. I guess the first thing is hoshoni, is the guarantor.
Guarantor is not a co-signer. The guarantor actually 本当に guarantors the applicant. Like when they can't pay rent or if late payment cost, the guarantor is responsible for the applicant's action.
If you set the building on fire, the guarantor will have to pay for the building. And so people don't just casually become guarantors for other people.
So,
usually it's only either your company
or relative
immediate
to
family. And if you're a foreigner, almost by definition, you don't have immediate family in Japan unless you're married. So what you need to do is get your company.
Close friends とか ask them in advance to avoid further problems.
Even close friends, it's really awkward asking them to be a guarantor in my experience. It's super really good of them if they do that. Don't expect your friends to become a guarantor because it's a very heavy responsibility. Best thing is if you can get your school or your company to agree to act as your hoshoni, sign as your hoshoni for you. There are people I know who have used third-party companies. But again,
it's
be
called,
careful.
Guarantor company. Like in order to sign up for a guarantor company, you have to have a guarantor to sign up for a guarantor company. I know it's kind of silly situation, but after all, you have to have one guarantor.
I know a couple though. Like you pay a monthly fee for them being a guarantor, and you sign over all your credit cards and everything to them. Like they'll take lots of security. And some of those companies are really dodgy as well. So check them out honestly. And this is why as well. Either go for a place that doesn't need a hoshoni, which is unusual but it exists, or get your company. Definitely negotiate in advance because even companies don't want to be hoshoni for people. But make sure that you have one anyway. You need that for renting. And so the other problems are with manners, basically. So what are the main issues that foreigners tend to cause that make it bad for other foreigners?
First of all, maybe gomi problems, garbage
separation.
For garbage separation, なんか日本は Japan follows really like なんて言うんだろう. It's really strict too.
It's a pain in the neck. They really are strict. Like there's not much landfill space. And so they force you to separate it, not just recyclables, but also what can be burned and what can't be burned. And people in the neighborhood spy and they report to your landlord if that foreigner isn't splitting up his rubbish properly. And they'll make life difficult for the landlord and they'll make life difficult for you as well. So yeah, it seems like a real hassle and a lot of foreigners ignore it because it is so much trouble.
Right. But you have to follow it. You have to.
Otherwise, I mean, this is one reason a lot of landlords give for not renting to foreigners because they get trouble from the other people in the neighborhood because of foreigners not separating their rubbish properly. Even if it's pointless or even if they don't separate, don't do it properly, you still should do as everybody else does and follow the rules on that.
There is some like instruction that is written in English to other foreign languages that the one has picture とかあるので
They'll give you the city council, which you'll get when you go into the apartment, has instructions.
So it might be a good idea to get those to learning in advance.
So what other issues?
Having a party.
Noisy gaijins. Japanese don't have house parties, almost never. Maybe
they have a party at izakaya とか restaurants.
They go out. They don't do it at home. So and lots of noise complaints as well. It just makes it bad for the people who come afterwards. So even though you do that in your own country, not good here.
So not here.
What else?
あとは靴とかですね. Take your shoes off.
Don't wear your shoes inside the apartment. It destroys the tatami, the straw mats that are used in the traditional apartments, which are expensive to replace. And it's just dirty. You have to imagine, Japanese think that everything outside is covered in germs and covered in mud. And if you wear your shoes inside, you're like polluting the entire apartment. So not cool. And definitely don't do that.
あとは壁とかにwallpaper なんていうんだろう.
Don't open up holes, don't hit nails in, don't use double-sided tape that rips off the wallpaper for posters.
Without getting landlord's permission, don't ever do that. 本当に.
Use blue tack.
そう、また貸し sublease また貸しは sublet in Japanese.
Yeah.
So sublet is absolutely no. 本当にit's forbidden in Japanese law.
And a lot of foreigners have a reputation. If you let like one foreigner in, like they'll rent to 10 of their friends. Not so much with Westerners, but definitely it's something which I think Asians have a reputation for in Japan. Which, yeah, unfortunately, I mean, in New Zealand that's totally fine, and everybody does that. Students do that.
But in Japan, that 本当に once the landlord finds out that he or she will cancel the contract.
Yeah.
So it's a serious problem.
And they won't rent to the next foreigner. So please think of other foreigners, and just some things which are common sense overseas really aren't common sense here, and you have to be aware of these rules and really follow them, not just for your own sake, but for the sake of everybody else as well. So the next video we're going to actually do in Japanese, and we're going to address towards the landlords and why they should rent to foreigners. And we'll do a final video together talking about when you go looking for an apartment, what you can do to increase your chances of finding a good place. So yeah, look forward to it. Peace.